We're not talking about Christmas.
I want to talk about Christmas.
It is currently...
How was New Year's Eve?
No.
What did you do?
We're not doing that.
I did nothing.
I've done that show 4 freaking times.
I'm not talking about the show, Tay. I'm asking you as a friend. What did you do?
I forgot to put my hat on before
You were at Seek. Was it a good party?
Sure.
You're the worst. What are you giving up for Lent? I'm giving up alcohol.
Too early. Not doing that show either.
Well...
We're doing have you ever heard of evergreen content?
Yes, it can be. We're ordinary time right now is what we're doing.
God dang it. We are not doing a dated show.
I want to talk about what you wanted to be when you were little. And would your little self be disappointed? I want to interview you.
No, we have talked about what we're talking about.
Can we do that?
Can you freaking stay on topic? Because what I'm terrified of...
What?
Is just like last time, we decided what we were talking about, and I tried to close the show, and you were like, can we talk about Genius? No! The show is over! We'll do that when Genius is closer.
I drive a flipping far way. You would never come to my house.
I have been to your house.
For your own self, not for me.
Just because you drive here doesn't mean you get to decide everything that we talk about.
I don't decide everything we get to talk about.
We made a plan, and then you tried
talked
to wreck
the whole
the plan.
time. I don't even know why I'm here.
Because you don't talk the whole time.
You do.
I do.
I just said that.
You just said that.
So I wanted to say, can I?
No, we plan our segments.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what we're doing. So guess what we're talking about today?
I don't.
The Golden Globes.
Yes.
And Genius. So don't ask me about my freaking childhood.
Jeez,
Damn
Taylor.
it. All right, you ready for this?
You got to say 3 nice things.
You look terrible.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're recording.
Can I dance?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Please dance. 3, 2. Wait. I don't have my.
Wait, is it still recording if I can't even see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Always recording.
Well, then can we look at ourselves?
Would you freaking calm down?
Okay.
Shit. 3, 2, 1. What's up? And welcome to Forte Catholic. This is your host, Taylor Schroll. And we are recording this a little bit differently today. Olivia Newton-John is here. What's up, Olivia?
Hey.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, I dyed my hair no longer blonde. Olivia Newton-John has blonde hair. They all know it's not her.
I was like, your hair looks nice, but I didn't think you changed it that much. Like, I was really self-conscious about.
They can see now.
They can see. So what we are trying to do, hopefully some of you are watching this on YouTube, because we are attempting to record this, and I've never done video before because I look the way that I do. But people have been clamoring for video content for a while. They're like, hey, you should do this. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to edit. So you know what I decided?
What?
We'll record, and I just won't edit.
Oh, so this is it.
This is it.
There's no editing.
No editing.
But we're not live.
We are not live. But we are recording it like it is live because I'm not going to edit a single thing.
You might change your mind.
I'll still edit the audio because I need to do that.
Do you not know how to edit the video?
No, I have no skills when it comes to video editing. Audio editing is one of my greatest skills. Video editing, I have no clue.
You got nothing.
I have absolutely nothing.
Everybody can see the Texas Tech back here now.
It's not Texas Tech. We've been through this. It's the Forte Catholic colors. But Olivia, you are here for the first time in this decade, and we are not going to talk about the new year at all because I'm tired of talking about it.
Okay, me too.
Speaking of me too, you want to talk about the Golden Globes?
I do. I do want to talk about the Golden Globes. They are everything.
So maybe one day this little rinky-dink YouTube show will be at the Golden Globes.
Oh my
gosh. The only way that we can do that is if you people that listen to the show, whether you're listening on radio, whether you're listening on the podcast, whether now you are watching us for some unknown reason on YouTube, you got to subscribe. You got to go subscribe to help a brother out.
Yeah.
So search Forte Catholic on YouTube if you are listening on podcast or on the radio. Just type in Forte Catholic. You'll see my little face. Click on it, hit subscribe, and then you'll see videos of us like dancing throughout the music.
I do love that music.
It's fun. You were like, can I dance? And I'm like, you're going to. I don't have to give you permission.
I know, and I didn't dance as well this time. I got nervous, but usually I dance like a lot.
I don't dance.
Okay, Stan, I'm gonna okay. This is terrible.
We've never had the problem of fixing your hair on the radio before. So we're going to still pretend like this is a radio show because guess what?
Okay.
It is.
Okay, I'm
Just
ready.
Look at me.
Okay,
Hey,
I'll look at
nice
you.
to see you.
Hey.
I'm the host. You're the co-host. So I called you today.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Liv, I have recorded 5 episodes of this show in the last week and a half. I'm as blown away as people will be about this thing I'm about to say. I've got nothing less to say.
I was shocked. When you said that, I was like, he's got a fever or maybe you have the flu. Like, that's not you at all. And usually we have no problem talking about stuff. Like, that is not where we like butt heads, shockingly.
Well, the last time you were here, we made the emphasis on co-host. Like, you are definitely the co-host.
Wow.
But today, like, you might have a little bit more host.
Oh.
With still with the co.
This is my one shot.
Do not miss your chance to blow because opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
This is my Lin-Manuel moment. Great.
How do you like your mom's spaghetti?
Oh, nice. Oh, Eminem. That's nice.
I asked you a question. Give me an answer.
My mom doesn't make spaghetti. My dad's 100% Italian. He makes it. It's phenom. So hers is, I don't know. She defrosts my dad's. So it's really good.
Good. So, okay, let's talk about the Golden Globes. There was a lot of controversy about the Golden Globes last week. And it's Forte Catholic, so we're not going to talk about controversy.
Did you watch it?
Heck no, I didn't watch it. It's the Golden Globes.
You don't watch any of the award show? I am so in love with the award show. And you've got to tape it because here's what happens. When you go back to look on YouTube or you go back and you watch like the playback or whatever, they always edit it and stuff. The good stuff happens when it's happening live.
You don't
do not
understand.
Want to miss it live.
I've already said.
So just DVR it. Is that what it's still called? DVR?
Sure. I already told you that I don't understand video editing, but what I do know about video editing is that when they edit stuff out, it's the parts I don't care about or that were dumb or that were boring, and I get the highlights.
No. When the stuff goes down, like MTV, the music awards, you want to tape those awards. You want to tape the video awards because that's when you see Britney go nuts, and that's when you see all the stuff, and then they cut it out when they redo it.
So what you're saying is I'm misunderstanding
what people are talking about,
and it's more. Oh, I wish I could just talk without you talking over me, but that would just be phenomenal.
Sorry.
But so what you're saying is that it's like Patreon content. It's like all the wild and crazy stuff that we say that we can't put on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like that. Okay, good. Patreon.com/Forte Catholic, help feed my children. And get some bonus content that you won't hear right here. So
nice. That was nice.
Ironically enough, you say like you're mad at me for not watching. The whole purpose of our conversation right now is to talk about the host of that show, Ricky Gervais. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things that he said was, "Why are any of you watching this?" Like he said something like, "There's a show about somebody who's very sick and like dying. It's on Netflix. Go watch that instead of watching this show because it brings you more joy." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So he went hard after these people. So there was controversy about abortion stuff. We're not going to talk about it. Everybody else has already talked about that a week ago or so. The part I want to talk about is Ricky Gervais, because when I hear that Ricky Gervais said something at the Golden Globes and that something like provocative and inappropriate was said at the Golden Globes, I assumed those would be from the same people.
Right.
Because it's usually Ricky that's saying these things, right?
Yeah.
But he said the things that I liked this year.
That everyone liked. Everyone was here for it. And here's what I want to ask you. And this is what everybody keeps bringing up, is was he kidding? You know, like, was it a joke? Was that for the laughs? Or do you think he really actually believes the things he said about Hollywood, which I know you want to share what he said in case people didn't catch it. But do you think he actually believes the things that he said, or was it just a shtick? Was it just for the show?
I absolutely think that he believes it.
Because
because
he doesn't care if he ever gets a job again in Hollywood.
He will. Because
I know
Gervais.
he will.
Yeah,
I know he will. But you know what I mean? Like,
the job of comedians has been able to, like, their job and their role in society. Like, for me watching a comedian, it's just to make me laugh. So, like, as a consumer, make me laugh, help me have some joy in my day. But the role of comedians in society has always been they're the only people that can poke fun at people in power. So the comedians for forever, every comedian, just think of like late night TV, like all the late shows with all the Catholic Jimmys, you know?
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
The Catholic Jimmys.
Then there's the Stephen Colbert. His name isn't Jimmy, but he too, a Catholic man.
Colbert.
So Jimmy Colbert. That sounds really weird. Jimmy Stewart. I don't know about his faith, but that was a long time ago.
I don't know.
We're not sure.
Jimmy Coburn. Colburn? James Colburn. But I'm being...
Corden. His last name is Corden.
Okay.
Well, he was in Cats and no one liked that movie, so no one cares if we mispronounce his name. Yes.
No one even saw that movie, so it doesn't even matter.
Not even the people in the show.
Nope.
So, what was I talking about?
Ricky Gervais, and was he as the role of the comedian?
The role of comedians, right?
You said late night.
It's like they're always making fun of the president. Like it's really funny watching like late night shows because they always make fun of the current president, which is interesting because you would think like, oh, if somebody's making fun of Trump right now, they must be a Democrat. Then you go watch the same show replays from 4 years ago. Who are they making fun of? Obama,
right,
because he's the person in power. Like
whoever it is.
The role, and if they were lucky enough to be on the air 8 years before that, Bush. They're making fun of like everybody's making fun of the people in power.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, especially when it comes to like politics, like the largest power in our nation is our presidents and our big time politicians. All the the few names of politicians that I know. Is because they're the president, the Speaker of the House, the vice president. Like, there's only a few names that I know. Like, now that we're in election season, you know a few of the other candidates that are never going to do anything. So, like, whatever, But what's interesting about what Ricky Gervais said, I'll read it here in a second, is read it now, read it later.
No, I'm the host. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Maybe you'll read it. No, I'm going to read it because I need to edit some of it on the fly. So,
yeah, that's true.
It was interesting that he was, like, making fun of the new people in power, which are the other comedians in the room, the other actors and actresses in the room, because all of these award shows, like I used to watch a little bit of them back in the day because it was like I like to see who won. And that used to be the only way to see who won was to watch it or like read it in the newspaper a few days later, right? Now, instead of watching the show, I can just walk up and be like, on my phone, okay, it's 10:30. Winners, type in on my phone, winners of Golden Globes, go through and watch it, and then watch the highlight reel of the monologue with whoever it is making fun of somebody, right? Well, here's how he started. Or not how he started, but like the big thing that like kind of went viral of what he was saying. He said, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a political platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. So if you win, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent, and thank your God, and then essentially get out of here. If you watched it, you know that he said
get the fly out of here.
Right, yeah, something like that. So go somewhere else. But that's the crux of
his beer. He had a huge beer on the
podium. That was edited out. I didn't see that because I didn't watch it live.
Told you. Had a huge beer and like he would drink and what was great though was the kid that won the first award, which I don't know if you saw that.
Nope.
It was fantastic because he's Muslim and he's and his show, it was the first award. He was up against like Michael Douglas and like crazy famous people, and his show is on, I think it's on Netflix, he said, and it's about a Muslim family that lives in New Jersey and like whatever, and so when the kid comes up, he's probably 23 years old, he's a bajillionaire, I'm sure, and like super whatever, but the first thing he says is, I just want to say thank you to my God. It was,
right.
It was really funny.
He did exactly.
And then he said, and I know no one in this room knows who I am, which was fantastic. And I feel like that kid is actually the person who won the whole awards that night because he took a moment from Ricky Gervais, which that's what comedy really is, right? Like when you're working is that you take this, it's like volleyball, right? You take the spike and you like hit it. And he did. And I thought that was really funny how he took it, because it was an awkward moment. Ricky said a lot of stuff in that monologue, not just that, but he said a whole bunch of things. Like there's some clips of Tom Hanks's face that is like,
I did see that.
Crazy.
That was really funny
because he said some stuff about Judi Dench and the movie Cats. So it was just, this kid was perfect for that. He came on and he was funny. And now you want to watch a show because you're like, well, he is funny. And then he said, my mom wanted Michael Douglas to win because Egyptians love Michael Douglas. It was funny. So anyway, so how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that was a good use of his platform?
So here's what's interesting. Like, I love what he said as a whole. There are a few parts of it that I would like,
of course,
pick some nits with, right? Mm-hmm. So, like as a whole, the reason that I stopped watching like award shows and listening to a lot of comedians I used to listen to or watching a lot of shows I used to watch is because everything has become political.
It has.
It's like I'm not a big fan of politics. I get that other people are, and it can be fascinating to people. Sure, like if that's your thing, fine. But like when something that is about movies and roles played by actors. Like, I feel like that, like, award shows are awards for the roles they played in the movies that they played. Go up, talk about the role, talk about, thanking people.
Right.
And like, that's the time and place for those things to happen. I feel like all of these awards have just become a political platform. And I don't feel like it's the time and place. So, like, for me, it's like, okay, there's a time and place to talk about politics. There's a time and place to talk about religion. There's a time and place to talk about our faith. Like, people have talked, like, jokingly, and then I'll do the serious one, I promise. But, like, jokingly, it's like, I don't feel like, I've said this before, sitting on an airplane is the time to evangelize. Because that person is stuck. They have no out. Like, if people, like, start a conversation, that's another thing. But if you're just like, hello, have you heard about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and why aren't you Catholic yet? That's not the time and place for that, even though that's a great thing. Right. Now, that is better than, it's not a perfect comp because, like, sharing your faith is always better than politics, but, like,
you don't sit down and hand them a brochure as you're putting on your seatbelt.
Yeah, guess who I am, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm a C- level Catholic podcaster and speaker.
C-?
Is that too high? I thought I was going
is that
humility.
With a curve?
Yeah, grading on a curve, for sure. I actually failed, but I got a C- because of the curve. So it was this balance of, like, I liked that he said it because essentially it's like, this night is about something else.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, they're human beings.
Yeah, and they have a huge platform.
Yeah, they have a right
on TV.
They have a right to their opinion. And I have more to say, but I'll let you jump in.
No, I mean, it's okay. If we were in front of, I don't know how many people watch these awards, but it's in the multi-millions. Okay, so you got to think about that. Like, what if Unplanned was up for an award? Now, first of all, that is a very controversial film for everybody else because it's about the abortion industry and all these kinds of things. But you know for a fact, if Abby Johnson, or pretend any of us were in that film, won Best Picture for Unplanned, or she won Best Actor, the girl playing won Best Actress. Let's pretend that she wins Best Actress for Unplanned, which isn't going to happen. But anyway, would she not then use it? I mean, that is already like a political film because a lot of films are political, right? I mean, it's an art form. It's a place where you are relaying these concepts and these things. Now, it is weird if you're like Seinfeld and you win for, best whatever, and then you get there and you're like,
let me tell you about all the Democrats and all the... That's a terrible Seinfeld impression.
I didn't know. It sounded like a cat dying. But
the Cats film. That was actually, I was quoting the Cats film. Seinfeld made a rare appearance, and no one knows about that. Just no one
saw it. No one saw that film. So you know what I mean? Like, I think it also depends on what the award is for and what is happening and what is going on. But I don't know.
Yeah, like the guy that won the Lincoln thing. If he wants to go up there and talk about Lincoln being the greatest president and he was a great leader because of all these things, like, that's an appropriate time to do it. Like, if you won for playing Marvel's Iron Man, like, don't go up there and talk about the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is.
So we're saying it needs to match the content of what is winning.
I don't want to put too many rules on it.
We're kind of coming up with a lot of rules for the Golden Globes.
But there is,
and they're definitely listening.
There is a time. Yeah. What's up, Downey Jr.? How are you?
They totally care.
But okay. People are people. Like LeBron James, big star. His slogan is like more than just an athlete. Like, because there's a guy that wrote a thing about him. It's like, shut up and dribble. Like, just shut up, do your thing. Don't talk about anything else. And it's like, he can talk, like, him talking about politics on his own Instagram and his, like, if he's interviewed and he's asked about it, sure. But like, when he wins the national championship, he's not be like, take that, Trump. Like, that's like, he's not doing that then.
So you're saying across the board. You're saying like Tim Tebow. Okay, what about Tim Tebow?
It doesn't matter because he's not famous anymore.
Well, great. I didn't want to talk about that anyway. But I loved it. I loved that Ricky Gervais said it. And I hope it is what he believes, like with Kanye. Like when we talked about Kanye, a while ago. Like, I'm here for it. If Kanye is Christian for 10 minutes, I don't care because he's talking about Christ. And if Ricky Gervais is like, look, and it was all a shtick and it was just part of the show and just to be like a shock jock or whatever, like a shock host, then I'm for it. But did you hear the Oscars are not going to have a host? Which I wonder, is that because Ricky Gervais did what he did?
That's because everybody goes back and finds tweets that people sent out.
We talked about that
18 years ago, and now they're getting in trouble for.
Ridiculous. So yeah, well, I'm here for it. I loved it.
So I spent Christmas break deleting all of my tweets from 2009.
Those are recorded somewhere, Taylor.
No, it's okay. But that's how I feel. And we're going to end the segment now because there's a time and a place for everything, and the time and place for us to continue talking is actually over now. So we'll be right back for our guest of the day that I'm not sure who it is, but I'm sure they're great, and you'll find out here in just a second.